Welcome to the lounge, man. I'm your boy Jay Reed, man. I was in a little bit of book purgatory. I just came off of Nightmare Academy, Tracy's Wolf's new installment. I feel like it's going to be a great series. We got to wait and see what happens with the next book. So I'm in book purgatory. I come across a free Freida Mcfadden book called The Perfect Son. So I'm like, all right, I just came off of a fantasy book, which I love fantasies as well. But thriller, that's something that's nearest, dearest to my heart. I really love thrillers. And Freida Mcfadden is, outside of Geneva Rose, is probably one of my favorite artists. Oh, I said authors. Alyssa Cole, you definitely up next. Geneva Rose is in the running too. But when I picked up this book, first of all, it was free from Audible. So I was like, oh, if it's a Freida Mcfadden book and it's a free book, oh yeah, let me get that. So I picked it up. I didn't really have any expectations. This is literally was supposed to be like a filler book to get me through to her junior installment of The Housemaid is Watching. I believe it comes out June 11th. So I kind of was just waiting for that. I really wasn't going to read anything. I was going to take a little break, but I came across The Perfect Son and I listened to it, the audio book. It was a great read. I gave it 4 stars. I really didn't know what to expect going into the book, but man, it has some nice little twists and turns. So we start off with the Cass family. You got Erica Cass, who's kind of narrating the book, you know, from her perspective. You got her 2 children, Liam and Hannah Cass, and you have her son. I said her son, her husband, Jason Cass. And they live in this Long Island neighborhood, middle to upper class. She's a stay-at-home writer for one of the local newspapers in her town or whatever the case may be. The children are 14 and 16 and they in high school. Obviously Hannah's a freshman and I believe Liam is a junior right now. And Liam is Hannah's like the annoying little sister that you really don't love, but you love her. You ain't got no real choice but to love her. And the way Erica Cons explains it, she makes Hannah sound like a true little bitch. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, not my words, and I ain't calling no female out their name. I'm just describing how her mom's Erica definitely described her in the book. Then you have Liam. He's kind of like this weird kid, silent. She gives me like she was scared of him, and the way she kind of brought him up, and that he had these psychopathic or she basically said he was crazy. You know, he has this like Edward Scissorhands vibe towards everybody. Like he really don't show no emotions, but there's really nothing wrong with that. You know, she was just kind of diagnosing him through her eyes, you know, because we find out in the book that a girl goes missing, Olivia M. She goes missing, not to be confused with Olivia R. She goes missing, and then all roads point to Liam in this regard, because throughout his life he's shown these specific traits of somebody who would kidnap and hide a girl, you know, because there's transcripts throughout the book from the detectives talking to his past teachers about how he was as a kid and the things that they saw him and they monitored him doing, you know, whether it was duct taping a girl and throwing her in the closet, or doing these things where he just want to say certain things like, you know, what if I put a girl in a hole and I don't feed her and I don't give her no water, then what happens? So they kind of using that. Erica's using that to have this basis that he took the girl, you know, and the girl goes missing. But that's just a little summary of the book. You kind of got to get the Audible book or get the paperback book to see what else goes on in the book. We're going to go through these series of questions and what we call a literary device questionnaire. First, we're going to go with the plot and storyline. I felt like one of the points is originality. I've seen this before. If you know The Good Son with Macaulay Culkin, if you watch that movie, then you know like this story is not original. This is just a different side of that story. With Freida Mcfadden, which the way she was going with it, I felt like it just, to me, it wasn't original. Like, does the plot make sense and follow logical progression? That's for coherence. Yes, it does. It really does. Like, the story is told perfectly throughout the book. Like, Freida has a way of really describing and going through scenarios of how this should play out, how the story should logically progress throughout the book. So I felt like she definitely tackled that. Conflict and resolution, man, conflicts is clear. Everybody think Liam did it, right? Because he's the weird kid in school. Like, he comes off as Christian Bale's Psycho movie. Like, he's charming. All the girls love him. He handsome. All the guys hate him. They want to be him. If you read, you're gonna know how Tyler really hate him and how they was cool. But then you see how they had that falling out. But he comes off as somebody who Madison says he doesn't care about you. And, you know, she tries to tell Olivia to stay away from him, but you know, Liam is a handsome dude, so of course you're gonna go with him. So the conflict throughout the book, we knew what the conflict was. They was trying to find the girl, right? The resolution, I don't want to spoil the end of the book for you, but that was basically the conflict. So it was definitely clear. Pacing, it definitely felt, it wasn't rushed. It took its time. And I listened to it in 1.2. I didn't do my normal 1.75, but I did feel like it took its time, and she had a great pacing throughout the book. It wasn't rushed, and it wasn't slow. She took her time with this novel, and she detailed everything that she needed to detail throughout the book. So I felt like she definitely tackled that. So for plot and storyline, I'm gonna give it a 4. Next we got characters, right? Development. Do the characters evolve throughout the story? I don't feel like two people to me evolved throughout the story, and I'm gonna say Jason and I'm gonna say Liam, right? And like father, like son is what I'll chalk it down to, but it's not like father, like son. So I felt like those are the two characters that really developed throughout the book. She didn't really have a lot of characters that develop, and this wasn't that type of book where you would see characters develop, you know, throughout the story. Believability, hell yeah. You got serial killers all over the place. Are the characters' actions are realistic? Of course they're realistic. You got people who take girls and take kids, and they come up missing all the time. So I felt like in this natural kidnapping serial killer story, like, this is a real thing that happens in real life. So the believability was definitely there. Relatability. Can the readers relate to the story and their journeys? I don't know. I've never been kidnapped. So for me, I'm gonna say no. Now, I don't even know anybody that's ever been kidnapped. Like, I grew up in Brooklyn. You take one, you taking all, and you're gonna have to feed us. We're gonna be annoying, all that. So for me, I can't relate. Maybe certain readers who've been in this situation, they can relate, but I know as for me, I couldn't relate. Complexity. Are the characters well-rounded with clear emotions? No, I did not know it, but I will say complexity in a good way. Like, it wasn't clear motivations. Like, some characters had clear motivations, you know, like Tyler, how he wanted to bag Olivia on the side. You know, you got Madison, who was trying to tell Olivia to stay away from Liam throughout the whole book. But other than that, I would say nobody had nobody was complex in this one. So, but I did love the characters. So, but for the whole thing, I'm gonna give characters a 3.5. I'm gonna give it a 3.5. Now, setting and world building. This takes place in New York City, in a Long Island neighborhood, upper middle class. So I don't know what's up with Freida. Like, side note, I think Freida got something. She might be from New York. I gotta look up her profile and see where she's from, because, you know, the housemate is watching this from New York. All 3 series, with the new book coming out July 11th, I believe. All of those take place in New York, and now this book take place in New York. So I know Ward D didn't, and The Locked Door didn't, I don't believe so, but she got this fetish with New York City, so I gotta check and see if that's where her roots is from. But does the setting draw the reader into the world of the book? Yes. Like, I've been in places in Long Island where it's like upper middle class, so I know what it looks like. Everybody go to the same school. So, I mean, for me, I can envision that. Clarity. Is the setting well described and easy to visualize? Yes. It's a Long Island neighborhood, man. It's going to be woods. It's not like the 5 boroughs. So it's going to be woods. It's going to be like that countryside area to the city. Relevance. Does the setting contribute significantly to the story? Yes, of course it does. You got to put a girl in a hole in the woods, right? how else are you going to kidnap a girl and nobody can find her, right? So I guess that was like the relevance. Consistency. Is the world building consistent throughout the book? Yes, everything took place in this town. And I like small town books because it gives it like a thriller. When you go into the city, there's so much going on. But when you stay in like the old country towns and like those type of settings, it creates this thriller atmosphere. And that's what you need to keep the reader engaged. Now, there's nothing wrong with going to the city to do this and do that. Like Jason, he goes back and forth to the city because he's in a tech firm. But if I wanted to capture the reader, to capture the audience and have them in that thriller mindset where it's like spooky, creepy style, I definitely would want them to stay in that small town. So for setting and world building, I would give it a 3. It wasn't overly expressed in the book, but she still had some similarities to what I can relate to. So I gave it a 3. The themes and ideas, the 4th point. How does the book explore its themes? Very, very. You literally cannot judge a book by its cover. That's the theme I got when I was reading the Perfect Son or listening to the Perfect Son. You cannot judge a book by its cover. Relevance. Are the themes relevant to contemporary issues and timeless questions? Of course. We play the blame game all the time, right? So if I'm gonna blame you for something, I'm basing it off of how I feel about you, how you look, how you're perceived in the community or to a specific person. Execution. Are the themes integrated into the story smoothly or do they feel forced? Nothing felt forced from Freida Mcfadden. Nothing feels forced from Freida Mcfadden. She just kind of had you like, you be driving, or I like to listen to some of her audio books. So when I'm in the Riders University, which is my car, but I just call it Riders University because I'm reading it. Y'all didn't ask for that, but that's just my explanation. When I'm riding in the car, I definitely like to just be immersed into the book while I'm driving. It gives me something to think about and something to listen to. And I have a lot of my old shit moments with Freida in my car, believe it or not. What else we got? Impact. Does the impact of hell yeah. We discuss, listen, social media is big now. So we discuss girls getting kidnapped, sex trafficked. You got a lot of people out here getting caught up with sex trafficking, regardless of, now if you hold a girl against her will or you move her from one state to the next state forcefully, that's called sex trafficking. So you got a lot of big people, Diddy, Harvey Weinstein, just to name a few of the people that I feel like this implies to. So for themes and ideas, I definitely gave it I give it about a 3.5. I give it about a 3.5. Now for Freida's writing style, we come to this. This is one of my favorites. Voice. Is the author's voice distinctive and appropriate for the story? Yes. Erica Cass got on my nerves throughout the whole book. She was holding Liam back, but she never really had a conversation with him, because I understand she was scared of him, but she never even really had a conversation to begin with. So how can you judge this man if you never really had a conversation? You're going based off of his actions. And granted, actions do speak louder than words. But in this instance, this stuff happened when he was young. So from there, you were supposed to kind of take him to therapy, you know what I'm saying? Or you were supposed to handle it yourself, if you could. You just kind of let it and you tried to hide it, hiring a private detective, it was just weird to me, like with her. Clarity. Is the writers clear and accessible to the target audience? Very clear. It was very clear to me what the issue was. It was very clear how Erica, perceived her son, how everybody else perceived her son. So it was definitely clear for me. It's going to reach all the target audience. If you haven't read the book, or if you have read the book, we can talk about it. Tone. Does the tone match the content and intention of the book? Felt like that could have been a little bit better. Erica was soft, she kind of did not want no issues. She was hiding it. She did have a little bit of creepiness to her. I thought, throughout the book, I thought she was the one who was killing, Freida going to throw these curveballs in there. So I felt like she would have been one of the ones who would have been taking the girls, and it would have been like, well, I've been doing this, so I had to make sure my son, that's what I thought going throughout the book. Literary devices are the literary devices used effectively, i.e. symbolism, metaphors, and foreshadowing. I was wrong on the foreshadowing. I was super wrong on the foreshadowing in that. I was like, all right, I'm gonna just say Liam did it, because all roads point to Liam, and I thought Freida was going to try this how would I say, this brilliant way of making Liam the killer at the end of the book. That would have been like a real crazy twist, but she didn't do that. She did something 10 times better. The symbolism with the dad, that's all I'll say. The symbolism is with the dad for me. And then the metaphors was crazy. Like, I want to tell y'all just about the book. I'm gonna leave that one alone. So for writing style, I'm gonna give writing style a 4. I'm definitely gonna give writing style a 4. She definitely, the voice, the clarity, the tone, and the literary devices was amazing. So I'm gonna give that one a 4. Dialogue, authenticity. Does the dialogue sound natural and believable? Shake in my head. In a good way though. Yes, hell yeah, it was good. Hell yeah, it sound natural and definitely believable. Like the way Liam talked, like you got kids that are just like that now. They more introvert, and I felt like Liam was being typecast because he said weird things or he did weird things, but he was more or less an introvert. And when he actually liked this girl Olivia, not R but M, he kind of showed a little bit of emotion outside of how people viewed him. Functionality. Does the dialogue serve to move the plot forward or develop characters? The dialogue definitely helped to move the plot and develop Jason, you oh man, I felt like she definitely tackled that one. Like that was definitely a one that dialogue is probably the only 5 I'm gonna give throughout my whole questionnaire. The authenticity, the functionality, and the distinctiveness. Do the characters have unique voices that are distinguishable in dialogue? Hell yeah. It's high school kids, so everybody, even when you go to Tyler, I picture Tyler being this big jock type of dude who liked the girl he couldn't get, and Liam being this handsome young man, in shape, track and fields kind of dude, and everybody don't like him because he don't really rock with y'all like that. Madison is like that friend that she lost her virginity to her boyfriend, you know what I'm saying, like who was the dude of the football team and who was a complete creep. But the way the voices was when they actually spoke, I understood where everybody was coming from, whether you was reading the transcripts from the detective. Well, when Rivera was, giving everybody, she was interviewing people, you kind of got a distinguishable voice and then dialogue of how they would sound. So I felt like she tackled, like, dialogue was definitely a 5 for me. That's one of the things that I feel like Freida tackled in this book. 7, structure, composition. Is the book well organized with a clear beginning, middle, and end? Hell yeah. And if you read The Perfect Son, you know exactly what I'm talking about. How Liam start off in the beginning, it's clear Liam did it. To me, it was clear Liam did it, right? The middle, you like, I don't know, Freida, this is too easy right now to just blame it on Liam. So it gotta be something else, because now we seeing Liam for who he is. He really is just like a regular kid. Like, come on. Like, so, and then at the end, we know what happened at the end. Well, at least some of us know what happened at the end. Y'all got to pick it up and get it. So I felt like the composition was good. Structure, now that I'm in the structure section, structure might be a 5 too, because you got the chapter layout, all the chapters and sections arranged in a way that enhances the narrative. Hell yeah. When you literally, she tells Liam's story, and in between something that Liam does and how she wants to paint the picture that it's Liam, they give us a transcript. They give us an interview from one of his teachers, or they give us an interview or a transcript from one of the people in the school when Detective Rivera is questioning them, and they at the station, and these are all on the transcript tapes. So every time he do something where he wants to see if the ant could breathe in this situation, then it goes transcripts by such and such and such and such. You like, all right, he did it. You know what I'm saying? Like he did it. Liam did it. So I felt like with the structure, the chapter layout was fantastic. All transitions between scenarios and chapters smooth. Hell yeah. Cause I tell you, Freida, I ain't commit no crimes around you. You gonna lay it out to the police, everything I did. So I ain't about to do no crime. Ain't about to do no crimes with you. Like the transition goes back into what I was saying with the chapter layouts. Amazing layouts, amazing transitions. So I felt like Structures is 5. I won't lie. Structures is a 5 too. Oh man, she got 2 files back to back, man. Emotional engagement, the 8th point in a critique rubric. Resonance. Does the book resonate emotionally with the reader? Hell yeah. Yo, throughout the whole book, I was like, damn, Liam, like, I want to root for you. In that Tyra Banks joint, we was rooting for you. I wanted to root for you, Liam. Definitely did. And I'm glad I did root for you, because in the end, you definitely came through. So I felt like, and then I was like, yo, like the emotions I felt, like, you gonna let old girl talk about your son like that? You know what I'm saying? She kicked you out the meeting, right? You were supposed to run the Friday family movie night for the school. She dubbed you on that, right? You know, and you just took it. So I felt like Erica was a softie in the book. Like she was a punk. You know what I mean? Like she was very, like, she wasn't standoffish. She was very reserved. Like, and I'm just like, when you reading the book, I was getting mad sometimes listening to her talk. Like it just bothered me. So like emotionally, I was definitely attached to the book. Investment. Does it make the reader invested in the outcomes of the story? Hell yeah, man. I was like, I got to get through the book only because I want Liam to be innocent. You cannot blame this on this kid, yo. I just wanted Liam to be innocent. I didn't really have no other ties to the book. I didn't really care about nothing. My thing was, when I get to the book, Freida, please, for Jay, please let Liam not be the killer. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just the kind of emotion I had, because it was just like everybody was just throwing dirt on his name. So I was like, come on, man. Like, Freida, man, you got me. Y'all see the emotion I'm displaying right now. So I definitely I was rooting for Liam the whole book. Even Hannah, at one point, I thought Hannah was the killer. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, maybe he protecting his big sister, you know, because Hannah was just like, not that she was dumb, but she wasn't as smart as Liam, but that's probably what Freida wanted you to think. And at the end of the day, she probably was the killer. So I was like, yo, just don't let it be Liam. Response. Does the book elicit an emotional response such as joy, sadness, and anger? Yes. She got 3 fives back to back for me just now. Emotional engagement, before I get into it, is a 5. Like, I really was like, I was feeling like super sad for this dude, but I was also mad because I'm like, yo, if I'm sad that, you know what I'm saying? Because when you go to Olivia and she talking, you know, and how she going through it in this little hole that she in right now, you're like, damn, Liam, you gonna do her like that, bro? She really rocked with you when nobody else in the school was rocking with you like that. So you just gonna do that to her? But then part of me was like, nah, Liam ain't get down like that, Rod. Like, don't even put that on his jacket like that. Don't do that. So I was kind of like, then I was sad because the moms kept throwing dirt on her own son. Like, my son is a monster. You know, my son is capable of doing this. Like, I just felt like I've experienced all that. Even at the end with the anger, like, I was mad at Madison because, like, I felt like she was a hater, but I understood she was protecting her friend. So for me, I had all 3 in these books: joy, sadness, and anger. And at the end is another one I didn't put on here that me and my boy Juice should change up, is happiness. Because boy, at the end, I was happy as hell. I was happy. I was like, all right, boom, such and such. I don't want to tell y'all, but I was just happy at the end. Like, this was one of the books where I didn't leave mad. I didn't leave with a twist in my head, except I know he didn't do that. But man, yo, emotional engagement is an 8, man. I'm sorry I went off a little bit, but you know, 9th point of the 10-point rubric: enjoyment and entertainment value. Engagement. Was the book engaging enough to hold? Come on, man. It ain't a Freida book yet that I ain't read that I put it down. I ain't never DNF a Freida book. I don't know who have. If you have, comment below. I've never done a DNF for a Freida book in my life, and I think I'm on book. I think I got like 8, 9 under the book with her, right under the arm with her right now. So I felt like she's always holding my attention. I'm gonna just say this, right? And I'm gonna put it out there. Freida's my favorite author. Like, it is what it is. Like, Freida is my favorite author. Like, she keeps me engaged because I never know with this lady, yo. And this whole book, I was like, I said, yo, son did that. Son did that. He had to do that. All roads is pointing to him, but some part of me was like, nah, Jay. Nah, Rod, just chill, bro. Fall back. He ain't do that. You know what I'm saying? It's this person. You just never know with Freida, man. Like, she really she does her thing when it comes down to these thriller books, man. And I don't know if she writes any other type of books, but in the thriller, in my eyes, and maybe there's another author out there that people could put me on to, but she's the best thus far for me, man. So she hold my attention all the time. Recommendability. That's why I'm doing a podcast right now, because I definitely recommend the book to you. I recommend it to anybody, man. And for the men out there, I know the ladies read, and I know it's some men out there who read, but listen, if you want to pick up a book that you won't know what happened at the end, you got to pick up The Perfect Son. I'm recommended. This is me recommending it to you, right? Rereadability. I don't know if I would reread this, but I would definitely reread the end. From the time the to the time where, at the end, you like, is this motherfucker really? Did he really get me at the end? Like, not the end, but the end. You know what I'm saying? Like, the end when the book is about to go off, you like, what the hell? So is it really? Nah, son, it can't be. You know what I mean? So I felt like I'll reread that part just to get a clear picture of, what's happening or whatever the case may be. Overall impressions, it's the last one. Look, I'm under 30 minutes. I'm happy for myself. Overall impressions, lasting impact. Will the book leave a lasting impression on the reader? It already has. Matter of fact, I got to go back real quick. Because that's 1, 2. So we going from 6, which is dialogue, 7, which is structure, 8, which is emotional engagement, 9, which is enjoyment and entertainment value, right? So that's 5s all down the list, right? So we got 6, 7, 8, and 9 is all 5s. And obviously 10 is just something, so we can just give 10 a 5 too. Will the book leave a lasting impact? Hell yeah. These is one of the, I was thinking about this book today, and I finished it 2 days ago. And I was thinking about it today, like, damn, yo, Madison. Like, F Madison, yo, she was wrong about my dude Liam, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm trying not to get a book away. So I gotta stop talking. Innovation. Does the book contribute anything new or noteworthy to its genre? I don't know if it does that. I don't think that it does that. That might be the only take a point away from. I don't think it's not going to contribute anything new or noteworthy to its genre. I feel like it's a book out there that's just like this book, maybe in a different setting, maybe in a different thing, but the theme is probably the same. Don't judge a book by its cover. How well does the book fulfill its potential based on the criteria? It's a thriller. So for me, it lived up to its potential. I didn't have to deviate from the book not one time. I wanted to finish this. I wanted to start this book from the first 2 chapters. I wanted to start the book and I was like, all right, let me see. Then I wanted to end the book after the 3rd chapter. I was like, I gotta finish this book. So I felt like it lived up to its full potential with me. I don't know if that resonates with y'all and the people out there, if y'all like The Perfect Son, if you didn't like The Perfect Son. But for me, overall impressiveness, I'm going to give it a 4.5 just because that innovation. Does the book contribute anything new or noteworthy to its genre? I got to take half a point away from that one. Got to. But I want to say, overall, listen, I have a system here and we have a system over on the B&B as well, where we give a 1 through 5. If y'all read the Source magazine or if y'all read the XXL from back in the day and an artist was coming out with an album, the people who were there, the editors, the people who listened to the album at the magazine, they would give it 1 through 5 on the 4 mic system. So here we want to do the same thing, but we doing 1 through 5 with bookmarks. So with this one, I'm gonna give this one 4 bookmarks. Freida, you had another banger. Again, I gave you 4 bookmarks on a scale from it being poor to excellent. So you kind of on the excellent scale with this one. I definitely recommend, you know what I'm saying, The Perfect Son by Freida Mcfadden. If you haven't read it, please check it out. It's a great filler. I think it's like less than 7 hours. If you want to listen to it in an Audible book, I'm not really sure how much it is on the page length, but it's not a long book. It's a great read. It's a filler, something to get you, you know what I'm saying, through your book purgatory like it did for me. And I definitely recommend it, man. The lounge is now closed. Thank you to everybody for tuning in. Thank you for people who are listening. I am your host, Rod, and I'm out.